My name's Eric. I'm a digital nomad traveling around the country in my Subaru Forester, and today I'm escaping normal life in front of a haunted hotel that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining in Colorado. Well, I'm standing in front of a landmark known as Chimney Rock, and I've got to say, Nebraska has wowed me way more than I thought. I've seen some really remarkable places out here, especially out here in the West. From here, I am headed into Colorado, and my first stop to get there is going to be at a friend's place. I came to see my friend in Denver, and we are doing a breast cancer walk. So very cool start to the weekend. All right, well, I'm at the legendary Red Rocks in Denver, Colorado. Actually, outside of Denver, Colorado. It's in a town called Morrison. And I've actually been here before. I was lucky enough to catch a concert here in 2019. But me and my friend decided to come out and we just did a hike around the area. And of course, I just had to see the amphitheater again. So yeah, always a beautiful spot. In Colorado. Well, today's a very big day for me. I am finally at a place I've been trying to get to for a long time. Meow Wolf. Yes, this is a real place. And there's 3 of them in the entire country. There's one here in Denver, Colorado. There's one in Las Vegas, and there's one in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's the original one. And I've tried to go to the New Mexico one and the Las Vegas one, and both times something happened right at the last minute, so I couldn't go. So I'm finally here. I know very little about this, other than it's just this really weird interactive art museum. So let's check it out. Honestly have no idea how to explain this place. It's awesome, but super weird at the same time. So I've walked around this place probably twice now, and every time I think I've seen everything, I go into another door and then I find another room I've never been in before, like this one. All right, if you come here, expect very unexpected. And something I didn't know when I first got here and spent a good hour or so walking around, is if you go downstairs to the information booth and you get this $3 card, you can kind of interact with the arts. So you'll be looking for places where you can tap this card and then the art starts doing something, or there's like kind of like a little storyline you kind of follow, which to be honest with you, I still don't understand. So I'm about to go downstairs and talk to them about it and see what the actual storyline to this thing was supposed to be. But just plan on spending a few hours in here easily. I think if you spend only 2 or maybe 3 hours, you're probably going through it quickly, to be honest with you. And you're definitely not doing the card thing, which is kind of different. All right, I have legit been here about 3 or 4 hours now, and I have no clue what this storyline to this thing is. And yes, there is kind of a storyline to this whole thing apparently. There's like 5 locations. I thought there was only 4 locations. There's 5 of these Meow Wolves across the country. And she said they all are connected somehow. There's a really, really, really big storyline to this whole thing. And that the short answer to this one here in Denver is that this is 4 worlds connected, and that you're a tourist walking around the 4 worlds. You take like a tram or I guess a spaceship, but I think they're calling it a tram, like a subway, to the 4 worlds, and you get to wander around. Super cool experience though. I definitely would suggest coming here if you're ever in Denver, Vegas, Santa Fe, and there's 2 in Texas. If you're ever in those areas, if you see one of these things, go to it. It is wild. It is so unique, so different, so cool. But I'm starving. I'm headed up. Well, I'm at a place called Dorado Canyon State Park, and right over my shoulder is actually the Continental Divide Trail, and it is absolutely stunning here. You know, the Rocky Mountains are not far from me. I don't know how this particular mountain range interacts with the Rocky Mountains and if it's technically part of it or not, but it's definitely stunning in its own right. Yeah, so I've been in Denver now for the past week. I thought I'd be here 2 days. I've been here for the past week. It's really only because I am waiting for some mail. So I had my mail-in ballot sent to my parents' house because it was just easier to send it to my parents' house, and then I could tell my parents where I was going to be, and then they forwarded it to me. But they forwarded it to me not too long after all the hurricanes happened in Florida, so it's gotten kind of stuck, presumably somewhere in the south. It came from Florida. It's trying to make its way out to Colorado, and so I thought I would be able to pick it up here in Denver just a couple days ago, but it's a couple days late now. So I'm just kind of hanging around the area, plus the mountains, even though it doesn't look like it today, because it's definitely cleared up since I even gotten here. But this whole weekend was supposed to be kind of snowing and cloudy in the mountains in Rocky Mountain National Park. And so I didn't go up there, 1, because I'm waiting for my mail, and 2, because it was going to be snowy, and I was like, so sense of going up there if it's going to snow. You won't see anything. It's going to be beautiful, but you won't see anything. And I really wanted to see some things. And the other reason that I decided not to go to Rocky Mountain National Park right now is you kind of can't. You have to have a timed reservation to go in there. They're only allowing so many people at like peak times. And, you know, the summer is kind of a peak time to go into a national park. So that actually ends on Monday. So I have another day, today's Saturday, and then tomorrow is one more day that they do the timed entries thing. And then on Monday, you don't have to have a time entrance to get in. You can go wherever you want. And hopefully I'll have my mail in my hand, my mail-in ballot, and I can vote. So we'll see. Until then, I'm just gonna take in the views out here.
Headlights on the highway. If you only knew, being back here always makes me think of you. When the world is sleeping, do you think of me? With the road it's coming back again, coming back to me. I remember.
See the mountain climbers?
Just the late nights in your car. I remember it all. Windows down, empty streets. You were all I used to know. You and I, forever ago. And you used to drive me home. Now I drive alone. You and I, forever ago. sounds so quiet this time of year, with the road ahead's coming back again, coming back to me.
All right, well, gorgeous hike. Ate up a lot more of my day than I expected. I've been out here for like 4 hours now, but I also stopped at the lake for, gosh, at least an hour. Just had some snacks and just kind of enjoyed the scenery, really. I was hoping to do another hike today. It definitely won't happen. It'll be getting dark in about 2 or 3 hours, so I need to get down there. It's gonna take about 2 hours to really get back down. More stuff to do tomorrow. All right, well, this is a total fluke. I was driving down the road, happened to look over and saw this. About, I don't know, 100 elk just hanging out.
God is on your side, but in this you are by yourself. No one by your side, you can blame nobody else. You're in the dark and trouble.
Well, I'm in the town of Estes Park, and Estes Park is a great town to come to no matter what. It's at the base of the Rocky Mountain National Park, so you can explore the town a little bit. It's a great place to stay if you're looking for hotel accommodations, things like that. But a lot of people may also be coming here because of this thing right behind me. This is the Stanley Hotel, and this is the place that Stephen King stayed at in the early 70s, which inspired him to write the Shining novel, and of course later was adapted into a very, very famous movie.
Here's Johnny.
As the story goes, Stephen King and his wife got here so late in the season that they actually ended up being the only guests here in the hotel, which then allowed King to kind of get the inspiration for The Shining. He would wander the halls kind of late at night, and him and his wife would actually have dinner, just the two of them, in a great big dining room, just all by themselves. So it really gave him the inspiration for it. Popularity contrary to belief, none of the movie was filmed here. This is only the place where he got the inspiration for it. In fact, I think I read that they only stayed one night. So he got the concept for it that night, and then he went home and wrote the rest of the book. A lot of the movie was actually shot on sound stages somewhere in England, and they got some of the exterior shots from a hotel in Oregon, and I believe they took some of the opening shots when the family is driving up to the hotel. I think that was actually shot on the Going to the Sun Road in the Glacier National Park, which is in Montana. But I'm gonna explore here and check it out. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you do come here, you can stay in room 217, which is actually the room that Stephen King stayed at. And they actually filmed part of Dumb and Dumber here, which I totally forgot all about. And if you go downstairs to the coffee shop, you can get yourself a red rum latte.
Red rum.
Or room 217 latte. Well, that's the Stanley Hotel. There's not a whole lot to really see, to be really honest with you. It's just really a hotel. It's a very, very beautiful hotel, and you can walk around the grounds a little bit. But of course, a lot of it is sectioned off for people actually staying here. You can do a tour if you want to. I didn't see the prices for it. I don't really have a lot of interest in doing that. But if you see over my shoulder, the town of Estes is kind of down there. So it is a really beautiful hotel. It overlooks kind of the rest of the town and everything. it's definitely worth checking out if you're ever up here. Oh, and one more thing, if you do come up here, I'm pretty sure there's an admission if you drive up. So instead, park down in Estes Park and just walk up. It's literally only half a mile, and it's a nice little walk. Well, good morning from the top of Rocky Mountain National Park. I'm actually on a road called the Trail Ridge Road, and unfortunately they closed this road down starting in mid-October until, I don't know, sometime in the spring or something like that. But yeah, it's like kind of a brisk morning. It's not so cold, actually. I woke up to a temperature saying it felt like 26, so it actually felt colder down there. But it's not so bad up here, actually. I'll make some coffee and just enjoy the view.
Lights shining from the window late at night. I'm just watching someone else's life go by, wishing it was mine. Dreams, everybody has them at the start. Somewhere along the way they fall apart, and it makes it kind of hard to look up at the lights. When the lights go out, everything is clearer.
All right, well, I'm back in the park today, and it is very, very, very windy. I would guess it's sustained about 30-mile-per-hour winds with gusts around 40 or 50. Look over my shoulder, that's pretty nice. Little waterfall. But anyways, I'm headed up to this bigger waterfall. We'll see what it's like when I get there.
Try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't.
You know what's funny is living in Florida most of my life, I was always a summer person. I love the warmth. I detested the cold. I really, really hated it. If it dropped below, I was a true Floridian. If it dropped below like 60, I thought it was freezing. Well, things are quite different when you live in your car. I personally really prefer the cold. It's just much more comfortable to sleep in the car when it's cold versus when it's hot. The only thing that really sucks when it gets cold is A, when it starts really getting cold, I have to do all my dishes and stuff outside. So the water gets cold, and so my hands get cold. So that always sucks. And as the days are getting shorter and it's starting to drop even more, especially overnight, I'm having to cook my dinner even earlier. I can cook at night. I have plenty of lights in the back of the car that I can cook at night. The problem with that is that A, it gets colder and colder, right? And B, if it is a buggy area, which generally is not so much in the cold, but if it is a buggy area, then the lights tend to draw in all the bugs and stuff. So I end up starting to cook dinner at like 5:30 in the evening, and then like a week or two from now, the daylight saving time is going to kick in, so it's going to go down, it's going to go back like an hour earlier, so I'm about to start cooking dinner at like 4:30. I mean, I guess I need to start just looking for Matlock right after that, because that is just so early to be cooking dinner. Cooking in the dark is not so much a bothersome for me. Like I said, I have plenty of lights. It's just really doing dishes and stuff in the cold. My hands get cold. That's the only thing that really sucks. And this morning, the temperatures actually dropped to way below freezing. Well, not way below freezing, but they dropped below freezing. It said it felt like 26 degrees outside. And these water tanks that I have on the side of my car here, those water tanks right there, yeah, they were frozen. not completely solid, but this little part right here was actually frozen to get the water out. So luckily I keep water inside the car in like I have like 5 gallons worth of water inside the car. So I was able to cook, get some like coffee and stuff this morning. It's just something you have to deal with when you live in your car. But overall, I think I actually do prefer the cold. it is a lot more comfortable, actually. And I bet if you talk to a lot of people who do van life or travel full time, I bet you almost every single one of them would tell you the same thing, that they much prefer the cold over the heat. It's a lot easier to get yourself warm with warm clothes, and you know, a lot of people with vans stuff like to have a heater and stuff inside of it. I mean, I have a car, so I can just turn on the heater in the car if I really needed to, but it's just so much easier than trying to cool yourself down when it's really hot. That actually really does suck. So it's just kind of funny how things work out. Well, good morning from the side of the road. There's not a lot of places to park in Estes Park, ironically, given the name. You know, small towns, sometimes there's places to park, sometimes there's not. There are places outside of the town. There's a national forest up the street. I could have gone about 30 minutes into there and parked and had a really nice, probably amazing campsite, but then I had to drive about 30 minutes away from the town, and I've been having to come back to the town like every 2 days to work on a project for a client. So this is the best option. Actually, Rocky Mountain National Park is just about half a mile up the street from here. And if you're ever wondering why I don't sleep in the national park, it's because you're not allowed to. You have to stay at a campground to sleep in the national park. And right now, this time of year, Rocky Mountain National Park, all the campsites are closed for the season. I think one of them might be open, but it costs money every single night. And I do this nightly. So it's like $30 to $40 a night, and that adds up really, really quickly. So I can't really afford to do that. So that's why I don't stay at the campgrounds. Plus, I really don't like established campgrounds. There's people next to you, it's loud. It just seems silly to me to pay $30 for basically what I slept on last night. I just slept on the dirt. And I'm self-contained. I have everything in my car. I have water, I have power. I don't need anything that a campground gives me. So for me, it's just not worth staying there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end my video here. I've only been in Colorado for about 2 weeks now, but I spent like a week in Denver waiting for some mail and getting some work done for some clients. So I have a ton more to see and do in Colorado. I can't wait to show you places like Aspen, Breckenridge. I think I'm gonna go to a place called Grand Junction. I'm gonna go to a new national park that I've never been to, Black Canyon of the Gunnison, and I think I might even go to Sand Dunes National Park. I'm not quite sure. So there's a ton more to see in Colorado, but I think this video is probably long enough. So until next time, thank you for escaping normal life with me. I'd like to take a special moment to thank Chuck Trow and Out of Bounds, both of which left me a super thanks. I am super appreciative. If you think this content was amazing and you'd like to be super awesome, leave me a super thanks. It's down in the corner. And hey, even if you don't, it's okay. Just share and like. It really does help the channel.